Hi, everybody. Welcome to the January 2024 special meeting of the Oak Hills Park Authority, and Happy New Year, of course. Thanks for joining. Thanks for amending the schedule. I know that it was originally scheduled for Thursday, but we had to move it to Tuesday due to my conflict. So thanks, everybody, for being flexible. The first item on the agenda is call to order, and I'll do that through the attendance taking. And because we're on the magic of Zoom, I will just list off the authority members in attendance. So you've got myself, the chair, Joe Andrasco. We have Alan Dutton, vice chair. We have Denise Brown, treasurer. Jennifer McAllister, Robert Stowers, Rich Dellinger, and TJ Trimboli present. 7 members present, so we have a quorum and we can execute business. We also have present right now Jim Holliday, general manager, Mark Gartner, controller, and Paul Alexander, golf professional. And I believe Jim Shell, the superintendent, will be joining us a little bit late, in a couple of minutes. Okay, next item up is the acceptance of minutes from the 12/19 meeting. Did anyone have any comments on those minutes?
I only have one at the end, just that at adjournment, my motion to adjourn is there, but my name should be spelled with an E, D-E-L-L-I-N-G-E-R.
Okay. Anything else on the minutes? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve those minutes with the one correction that Rich pointed out of the spelling of his name at the last page. Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye or make a motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstains? Okay, those minutes are passed. The next item on the agenda is public comment. I am seeing one attendee. And I don't know, Charlie, can you raise your hand if you wanted to make a public comment? Or just come off mute because I see you've been promoted.
No.
Okay. Thank you. I don't see anyone else in attendees. Jim, can you just confirm that? I just want to make absolutely certain I'm not seeing something wrong.
You're correct, Joe.
Okay, good. Then we can close public comment, go on to the report of the chair. And I'll just note really 3 things. It's winter time, less use, frigid temperatures as we've experienced today, and we're about to experience more in the coming days. The rain has been exceptional and a little bit of snow as well. But I think in the superintendent's report, we'll see or hear things are going okay. On the financial side, winter generally means that we run a deficit, but we've built up a cash position to absorb that without having to go into our revolving lending facilities, which is a good thing. We haven't had to do that for some years now, where we were close to maxing those out in many, many years ago. So we're just in a far better position. Credit to everyone on this call. And a little bit, second thing, but a little bit related to the financials is our audit is really near being completely complete. Just one more review that I want to do and then a sign off. But that's really the only thing holding it back. I got the full report today, so I'll read through that. And Mark's, particularly to you, I'll be able to sign the rep letter. And then I'm excited to get through the business of the restaurant selection committee today. Huge credit to everyone who participated in that or who is participating in that. I suppose the business is not over yet, but authority members, Rich and Robert, kind of more community members or OHP users, people who use the actual restaurant and the park. Andy Glazer, Bob Pattaccini, Steve Shepard, and Ann Van Gelderen on that committee, as well as Jim Holliday, who's the general manager. And last but by no means least, Alan Dutton, who's been kind of chairing it and ferrying things through. I've been really impressed by the process, the fidelity to the process, and I think it's going to yield really good results by going through that more deliberate process. So I think everybody who I mentioned and everybody else on this call who's contributed to it in some way, either through discussion or adding analysis or giving opinions on how it'll all work. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. We're going to talk more on that this meeting and an executive session. And with that, I'll close the chair's report and we can get into the management reports. So item 5 on the agenda, the management reports, and we can start with Paul. Paul, if you're ready, we can start with you. Being silent because it does seem like he's trying to come off mute.
Jim, are you able to unmute him since you're the admin? You may. Oh, hold on. Hey, are you not able to get on?
Please hold.
Jim Holliday, can you please try to hover over Paul and unmute him?
Maybe you have to click the 3 dots at the top right.
Probably. He's working on it.
Oops, where'd I go?
Joe, is it worth going for another report while we wait, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Not to.
We wait, or what do you
Can
think?
you hear me now?
Oh,
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all you had to say, Alan. You know.
Yeah.
All right,
Right,
Paul.
Paul.
Thanks. You want to give us your update?
Sure. All right. Appreciate your patience. Well, now that it's January, holidays are behind us. The new year is here, and winter golf has arrived. Golf carts were put away for the season last Monday, January 8th, and that is usually about a month longer than normal that we had carts out this year. And all the golfers are walking and playing off temporary tee boxes and temporary greens, and we are charging a winter walking rate at the moment of $20. The golf shop is open 9:30 to 3. The course is open 10 to 3, weather permitting. We have an inside golf shop staff of 6 sharing days, and we have an outside staff of 2 if and when needed. Many days it's kind of quiet, so the golf shop can handle everything. But we had a very good December due to some warm temperatures, allowing us to keep the greens open and the golf carts running. Thanks, Jim Shell. And just 3 days ago, we had 70 golfers. So you can see we have a lot of loyal customers and everybody loves playing Oak Hills when the weather's good. But it should be fairly quiet at the golf course for the next 6 to 8 weeks now that we're in the heart of the winter. So the upgrade to Golf Genius was a tremendous bonus this year. Our new synthetic tee at the lesson range and our commercial warm-up hitting bays were a much needed and fantastic addition for our beginners, juniors, and our regular golfers. And Golf Now continues to drive numerous golfers to Oak Hills from Lower Westchester County, Putnam County, as well as Manhattan and parts of Long Island. I think numbers are all up a little bit even compared to last year. Annual passes and golf memberships have been on sale since January 1st. We've sold 43 annual passes. I believe 8 of those are limited passes, which are only good Monday through Friday. And we have limited those to 50. Next week, I'll be attending the 2024 PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando, Florida, where pros from all over the country come to attend and see what's new for the year and network a little bit. And overall, I think it's been a really great 2023. It's great to have Holiday on board, exciting, a new restaurant, and I'm really looking forward to the 2024 season. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer anything.
Any questions for Paul?
Paul, am I on mute?
We can hear
Hi.
you.
Hi, Paul. Yeah, we were emailing back and forth, and I guess the question was that I was trying to ask you is that I was asked about the storage of the carts because of the lithium batteries, if there's anything different. So are they just put in a shed and does anything get done?
No, they're
I guess-
incredible. Our other ones required a lot of maintenance and they didn't last as long. Obviously, lithium are a little more expensive, but we get a lot more holes or golf rounds with each charge. And basically, just to put them away, we really don't. We just put them back in the barn just like normal.
Okay.
That's it.
The batteries stay in them, right? They don't, they
They're
stay in
huge.
them all the time.
Oh yeah, they're big. They're heavy.
Okay. They're big, heavy batteries.
Yeah, they're all at the cart's pretty much a lot of batteries.
Okay.
But yeah, they're really low maintenance, even throughout the winter and even during the season. We just keep an eye on them. They're really great.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. Next up is Jim Shell, Superintendent.
Sorry I'm late, guys.
No worries.
Course, as you can guess, is wet and it just doesn't dry out this time of year. Carts are shut down. We're on temporary greens and tees and it's cold. Or as of today, it's going to be cold for a little while. We had discovered in the maintenance facility that our furnace has been leaking burned oil exhaust into our fresh air supply. We have a guy coming on Thursday to take a look at that and give us a quote. Hopefully that doesn't break the bank, but it is something. So I do have all the bunker proposals in, and I don't know when would be a good time to discuss that. If anybody has, if now is the time, then say so. If not, that's fine, but we need to meet about it or talk about it at least. Any thoughts?
I think doing it cold without kind of some sort of a summary is probably
Yeah.
not the most efficient way to do it.
Right. I just got them today. I put all the information together, but I
Okay.
don't have a summary for you.
Okay. Yeah, it's not the sort of thing we want to delay much longer.
Right.
Like our February meeting would be, I think, unworkable.
I'll put it together and send it out tomorrow to the executive committee
Okay.
or to everybody. It's up to.
Yeah, let me think on that, the best way to get it out to everybody, and I'll let you know.
right.
I think as long as it's all facts, it's fine to send out to everybody and we can kind of think on it. And then my sense is we may pull our February meeting early So if that timing would work, maybe that's the solution we can do to get through the actual decisioning on the proposals.
And Joe, just real quick, if need be, we can always do a special meeting, just a 5-minute meeting that we can call at any time just to vote on
Sure.
this.
Yeah. So Jim, I guess the simple answer is I'll get back to you.
Okay. And otherwise, I really don't have much to report. I mean, it is February and, the Christmas elves are in the shop doing their work. And, yeah, it's our relaxed time, 40 hours a week time.
Jim, my question was on your report on, well, first on the furnace thing. That sounds like a necessary, right? There's no
avoiding it.
Yeah, there's no avoiding it. So some sort of breakdown in some pipe exchange, and then, yeah, this happened at my house. So yeah,
It's where the, go ahead.
no, please.
I was just going to tell you, it's where the oil burns inside the furnace.
Yeah.
Separated by a steel container, and the steel container heats the air outside of it. Now, all the exhaust is going into the air outside of it and coming into my office, into our shop,
Yeah, we can't have that. Okay,
Right.
So let's get that fixed, I think, as soon as possible.
Jim, does that furnace do the whole maintenance shed? Does that heat the whole shop area?
Not the whole thing, just the warm area. We have 2 shorter garage doors that are cold storage.
Right. But it's the only furnace in that.
Yes.
In your building, right.
Yep.
Then my other question was on sand.
Sure.
And it seems like, so the USG, I'm trying to follow it. The USGA recommendation is 30 inches per hour.
Yep.
Which is basically how much and how quickly it will filter water out. We're currently testing at 5.
The sand that we used in 2015 and 16 was 5 inches per hour. Currently, I have
started.
Huh?
When it was new.
When it was new.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
I understand. Yeah. Okay.
Currently, I sent another sample in just to make sure, and that number did go up, but only to 10.
Okay.
And I'm not very comfortable with starting with something at 10, even though it's going to stay cleaner a lot longer. I mean, we've seen what happens in our bunkers, and I don't think we want to repeat that.
Yeah. So for this, your recommendation of this one at 23.4 inches per hour.
That's a possibility.
Do you have any sense of what that adds to cost?
Yeah, sure. Let's see.
Is there like a ton rate or yard rate or something?
The $39 one, which is our old one, was going to cost us $11,400 for the whole job. If we move up to one of those, a $65 per ton sand, it goes up to $19,000.
How many years do you get out of it?
We could probably get 20 years out of it. You just keep adding if it splashes out of the bunker too much. If golfers splash it out too much.
Yeah.
It does happen.
Oh yeah. Okay. I just reference, kind of just wanted to get arms around it. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Any other questions for Jim?
Just Jim, I don't know, you don't have a summary about the bunkers, but are you comfortable with the results of the information that you got through that process?
Yeah, all 3 bidders are highly qualified. I've already called references on the lowest, and there's no worries. They've never had a lawsuit against them, which is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually know a couple of them. One of them better than the rest, but
all right. And the time frame still going to work for you in terms of getting it
I
done?
hope so. I hope so.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Next up is Controller Mark Gartner.
Thanks. Yeah, as Joe alluded to, the auditors are in contact, and we're nearly there. We're getting the report, and as soon as that's done, I will pay the 1% annual pay down of our loan to the city of Norwalk. And in addition, to what I sent out in the agenda, it does look like December, as Joe said, it's minimal because we don't do much, and we will have a loss. But revenue wise, we actually on a percentage basis compared to last year and compared to budget, we're up a tremendous amount. But dollar wise, 15 grand, so not all that much. But it was nice to see, although we are a little bit in expenses too. But just another good month. We have month after month, very good. And the last thing I'll say is, in my monthly financial package that I put together, I always have the calendar year of our monthly sales with all the statistics from G1, our POS system that shows the number of rounds and so forth. And we don't normally talk about that because we're on a budgeted, we're on a fiscal year. That's where our budget is. We don't really compare. But since we are done with the full 12 months, I will give it, because a calendar year really is a golf year. So it is important to look at this stuff. And 2023 calendar year, our actual greens fees, our golf rounds were 48,758 versus last year 43,817. So that's an 11% increase over last year. And cart rounds were 26,000 over about 22,700 for last year. That's up about 15%. So just all around good numbers we're looking at. So just wanted to let everyone know that.
Thanks, Mark.
Great.
You're welcome.
Great news.
Yeah.
Any questions for Mark on the written report or his comments? Okay. Good news garners little. Next up is Jim Holliday, the general manager.
Thank you. This month, I have been, or this past month, primarily working with the Restaurant Selection Committee and follow-up inquiries from the proposers. But in between that time, I was working on fire safety issues and OSHA regulations. I've never worked in an OSHA environment, and so I want to take the quieter time of the year to learn about what methods we can employ to reduce our risks. In addition to that, attended a meeting of the Friends of Oak Hills Tennis. My notes from that meeting are kind of technical and in my report. Some other odds and ends, lighting around in the kitchen and the administrative offices. We're working on making some repairs there. And then, of course, Jim mentioned the unfortunate situation in the maintenance building. But we will have an estimate on Thursday afternoon for making those repairs and adding some additional ductwork, which will increase the fresh air coming into the building and also release some of the fumes that are generated from the diesel equipment that Jim's elves work on in the winter. And little issue with a liability waiver for the Norwalk Ski Bears who have parked in Jim's parking lot while they take a trip. And that's a fairly simple measure. So that's about it for the past month. Any questions? Right, I like that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Good reports. Good reports. Good news. Next up is committee reports. Item number 6, and we can start with Denise on the tennis.
Good evening, everybody. It's winter and it's very quiet. The only thing that I have really to update is that the Common Council approved the naming of Arthur's Court unanimously. And so that happened last Tuesday. So that's completed. I guess a motion gets filed with the city, because we had the public hearing and, everybody had, voted yes on that. So I guess the next thing for us to do is that when it gets warm in the summer or the spring, we'll have a dedication to art. We still have to have the plaque done. And we did decide pretty much on the wording. We just don't know really where we're gonna put the plaque. And we'll figure that out, I guess, once we get kind of taking a look at it in the next couple of months. That's kind of it. I mean, the only other thing that we can talk about later on is maybe getting some cleaning up of the little tennis building, some painting done and things like that, which we talked about at our friends meeting. And that's kind of it at the moment, unless anybody has any questions.
Just what are the high level thoughts on the cleaning up of the building?
Well, I think we talked about getting like the shutters and the doors repainted a different color possibly. Kind of to lighten it up, now that we have the pergola, maybe to find something that kind of blends in a little bit better. I mean, the green has been there for quite a while. That kind of gives it an old barn feeling, maybe we could take away that feeling and put it a little more contemporary, which it's not a big deal. I don't
But
think.
it's not just aesthetic, it's also, kind of, they're in a little bit of disrepair.
Well, the shutters are sort of in disrepair, but they're very old and I think they're original. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to really look at them as far as, do we just paint them over or do we do anything about them? I don't know. I think they're necessary. Jim Shell felt they were necessary for, I guess, for the winter time and making sure that the building isn't broken into.
Yeah, and that's the thing about those shutters is that they're built to keep people out and they're locked up. And
Okay.
I don't know how pretty of a shutter you can find. I mean, you can find a steel screen or something like that, but that's not any prettier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, Rich, do you have anything to add?
No, but congratulations on getting art court approved. That's a lot of work, and so I appreciate all the work you did with that. We did have a little bit of a end of year fundraiser. We raised about $1,500 that went through the supporters, and we're going to have another meeting coming up in February with the supporters group. So moving along. Yep.
Mark, I wanted to ask you, is Elsa going to take care of the thank yous for the donations?
No, Jerry Crawley does that.
Jerry Crawley
We
does?
already-
Okay.
He stopped by last week. We went over a few things. I gave him all of the non-PayPal stuff, and he's able to download we were able to download the PayPal information. So we think we're good. He's going to come back with the listing, and then we'll see if we missed anybody.
Okay. Thank you.
But thank you.
Okay, Denise, just to clarify, did you want to talk about maintenance of the tennis building later on in this meeting or at a later meeting?
I think what I'd like to do is really talk about it with the Friends of Tennis when we meet in February, and then maybe we can talk about it then after we kind of get an idea of what everybody's thinking.
Gotcha. Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Denise. For supporters, I don't see Jerry on, but Mark, I don't know if you had a update by proxy.
Sure. Just to kind of piggyback on what Denise and Rich just said. I mean, it's all tennis, and there is a lot of great fundraising activities that these guys are all doing. Rich said at the end of the year, yeah. So I don't have a number on me, but the money is coming consistently. There's a lot of great donors from the tennis side, and with that, again, the pergola is done. We have enough, I think, to keep going with a few other projects. So Denise and I usually talk about this type of stuff regularly, but so we'll see what happens before the end of this year.
Okay. Then moving on, I also don't think there's an update for Nature Advisory Committee, which would also, Mark, you would be the one to give it, but I don't think you have it.
It's all covered in ice.
Yes. A lovely sheet of ice. Great.
Yes.
Okay, then let's move on. Item number 7, the Restaurant Concessionaire Selection Committee. Alan, do you want to give a brief update?
Well, obviously, we're going to have a much bigger update when we come to the executive session. But I would just like to go on record of thanking the 7 members of the committee, or 6 members of the committee, myself, and also Jim Holiday for getting together. We did. I'll be reporting. We did meet quite often, 4 or 5 times, and we're ready. We produced, thanks to Steve Shepard, a written report and have distributed that to the members of the authority. And we'll be discussing it, and that's pretty much about it.
Okay. That's the public session. That's the agenda for the public session. And so at this point, I'll invite Jim Holiday to join us for executive session. No, sorry, I'll make a motion to go into executive session, and included in that motion, invite Jim Holiday to join us. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Any opposed? Hearing none. I think we will use the other link that was sent to us by Zulma to go into executive session. So we'll have to leave this one, go into that one, and we'll see you there in a couple of seconds.
So just to confirm, so then
Cool.
Jim, Shell, Paul, and myself, I guess we'll say goodnight.
Yes, that's all we need.
This I think this is officially the shortest meeting ever. So thank you, everyone.
Good night.
For
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
All right. Everyone
you.
else, we'll see you in a few minutes or seconds.
And I'm going to stop the recording and switch over to the
Okay,
executive session.
good.